Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Mr. Arif Nugraha as Director of English for Educator and all my beloved friends. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'in wa ala umuri dunya waddin. Shalatu wassalamu ala asyrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'du. There's not the most beautiful word to say in this world, make acceptance and pray to God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because of His mercy and blessing can be performed without any troubles and obstacles. And we never forget to count our salat and salam to our dictator Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, here we will explain skill or competence in English language teaching about pronunciation with the listening and repeat method. Let me introduce our member. The first is Denden Fadila Harun, second Putri Nur Fauzia, and next me Itza Yugesta, and then Nabila Nara Lestari, and the last is Nanda Sofi Adawiyah, but Nanda is sick. Next slide, please. Okay, here we'll talk about description, principle and procedure, advantage and disadvantage, preparation, warm-up activity, and core activity, and last is warm-down activity. For the first presenter, I would love to Sister Putri Nur Fauzia. Putri, times is yours.
Okay, thank you to moderator has given me time to deliver material. Here I want to explain about method pronunciations, but first let's find out what do you call this method? This method is listening and repeat method. And the second one is descriptions. Listening and repeat is set as a model to imitate the sounds. In this technique, a teacher or recorded native speaker are set models for imitating sounds. It is one of the most traditional ways of teaching pronunciations, but it can be made more interesting with using CDs, interactive boards, and internet actives. Pupils could also record themselves and listen to their own pronunciations. This technique is suitable for ages from young learners to adults. And the last point is who can use this method? A teacher who specializes in accent areas, because learn pronunciation with a teacher who specializes in accent to help you learn English pronunciations. And be sure to find out how much experience they have, because if we study with an English teacher who is not in field of pronunciations, learning is not optimal and has different perspective. Alright, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much and sorry for the mistake. I give it back to moderator.
Thank you, Putri, for your great explanation. For the next presenter, I want to Sister Nabila Nara Lestari. Nabila, times is yours.
All right, thank you, Icha. The next is about the principles and procedure of listening and repeat method. Okay, here is the principles. First is this technique involves two skills of language, which is listening and speaking. Even though the skill is about the pronunciation, listening skill is important because you have to have a good hearing to know how certain words are pronounced, and also speaking skill for help us while practicing to pronounce the words. And the second one is a technique used in the direct method. It is listen to the teacher or media as a model. So this method uses a model so that the students can listen and repeat that. It could be the teacher itself, audio or a video or any other media. And then focus on pronunciation rather than meaning. Because this is a pronunciation skill, we just need the students to pronounce the words correctly rather than the meaning. Because that would be need more time if the teacher adds translating station. And the last is using conversational or drilling activities. The teaching and learning activities of listening and repeat method is basically using conversational and drillings. It helps the students to practice it by speaking. The next is procedures. The first is the teacher presents a model in the form of audio or media. And then the students listen to the model presented for 10 to 5 minutes to 50 minutes. It depends how long the duration of that model. The teacher must be giving some times for the students to listen it. And the teacher teaches 1 to 2 vowels in each meeting, so the students should focus on just a few vowels, so that they can learn them gradually. And the teacher guides the students with practice. After listening to the model, the teacher helps the students practice. It can be through a conversation or practicing with their friends, or even practicing with the teacher. And the last is the teacher collects words that are difficult to pronounce. After practice, the teacher can see the vowels that are most difficult to pronounce, so the teacher can help the students to focus on just uh, practicing the vowel, the difficult one. And now, what are the advantages of this method? Firstly, this will make students familiar with the word they hear. Sometimes there are many words that are unfamiliar for the students. If we do this method, at least the students will familiar with that then. And helping the students to reduce errors in pronunciation. If using this method, it will help the students to find out the words that have been mispronounced all this time. And then for the last, it will be more meaningful and memorable. Using this method is also quite interesting and fun because usually what you just hear will be easy to pronounce. So that it will be easier for the students to remember it. I think that's enough for me. Thank you. I'll give it back to the moderator. Icha, please.
Thank you, Nabila, for your good explanation. For the next presenter, it's me. I will talk about disadvantage, preparation, and warm-up activity. Disadvantage of using this method is students who are fairly capable of mastering a lesson quickly will surely get bored immediately when taught the same teaching materials continuously. Next slide. Okay, for the preparation, the first is the teacher prepares the vowels that the student will learn. Second is the teacher prepares the model to be used, whether in the form of audio or video, so the student can listen how native speakers as could explain examples. Next slide. Okay, for the last explanation is about warming up activity. The first is greeting the student, the second is check student homework, and the last is small warm up. Open your mouth wide as if you are going to yawn. Hold your mouth open for 3 seconds and close it. Massage the corner of your jaw with your hands and allow the jaw to relax and open. After that, you can repeat this sound as quickly as you can and repeat each sentence 3 times. That's all for me. We'll move to the next presenter, Alotu. Then Fadila Harun, times is yours.
All right. Thank you very much to Icha for letting me joining this discussion and explain about the core activities in this method. So the first one is the teacher gives a list of vowels to be practiced. Yeah, so the teacher lists the vowels for the practice, like the teacher prepared the vowel like table, how to pronounce the table, and uh, for example, is lamb, how to pronounce the lambs, and so on. So yeah, like that. And the second one is provide a sound models in the form of audio and video. Yeah, and the next is the teacher prepare a sound model in the form of audio in a video, especially the sound model is the native speaker. So and the next is the teacher shows how to pronounce the word correctly. Yeah, so the teacher show how to pronounce, like the teacher for the example, the teacher say the vowels to be pronounced in, like, how to pronounce the table. So the teacher like table, and the teacher say table, and correct the sentence or the vowels itself. And the next is practice time, or this this time is student have to practice, like, having a conversation in the student by student, or drilling, like, table, for example, is like that. So, and the last one is test all student one by one. Of course, as a teacher, we have to test the student one by one, like, how to pronounce the table, how to pronounce the lamb, for example, how to pronounce the what is that, the bed or something like that. Next slide, please. All right, the next is warm down activities in this method. So the first is the teacher gives feedback about the most difficult vowel into pronouns. Yeah, actually, there is must be the difficult vowel to pronounce. So the teacher asking to the student, where is the most difficult vowels in the two pronouns, like that. And the second one is give homework some vowel to practice. Yeah. So the teacher making a list again and giving it to the student, and let the student uh, to practice it. So like that. Next slide, please. All right. Maybe that's all from me. I'll give it to the moderator.
Thank you, Deden, for your great explanation. Okay, we come to the end of this presentation. Sorry if there is mistake, and hopefully the material we provide can be understood. If you have any question, you can comment in our video. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.